Hey everybody, my name is David and this is Blue Line Garage. First off, I want to tell you guys I appreciate everybody liking my video, subscribing. It's making a huge difference on my channel. And as you could see, my garage from growing from a homemade garage shop to, as you can see, I got a loft, I got a 4-post car lift here. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the car lift because I already did an episode on the lift. And I haven't been posting much videos just because I've been doing a lot of upgrades in the garage. And this is the last upgrade to get back on my Jaguar project. I don't know if you started following me on the Jaguar project, but it's going to be coming back real soon because of the car lift here. So if you guys haven't noticed, I do have a 4-post. It's a nationwide car lift, 8,000 pounds capacity. I got the EXT version, which is going to make it extra long runways, which are these ramps here. And it's going to be as tall as it could be. So from the base of the floor to underneath the runway should be about 6 feet 7 inches, which is pretty well for me. I don't want to keep bending my head every time I go underneath. So I wanted to get something really high. I do have about 25-foot ceilings in here. So having it maxed out is not a real big deal for me. As you can see, I do have my truck. This is a 2019 Dodge Ram 2500. And the weight on this is 5,940 pounds. All right, so this lift is more than capable of lifting this truck up, and it does it with ease, no issues at all. I'm going to show you guys real quick. I actually have a time-lapse video of all this stuff being put together, going off, testing it out, all that stuff. And then I'm going to show you how to work this lift. If you have this lift at home, if you're interested in buying something, they're pretty much all the same. So I'm going to go through the basic safeties of the equipment, the possibilities, and the reason why I went with the 4-post car lift instead of the 2-post is because I could actually move this 4-post very easy. And I will show that later on in the video. There are caster wheels that I will mount on this post, and the lift itself will actually lift itself off the floor, and you can wheel this around in your shop wherever you want it, and that's what I want. Because depending on the size of project, I might have to move the lift over all the way to get something bigger in the garage or vice versa. So without ado, let me go ahead and show you that time-lapse video of this being put together. Alright, so I hope you guys like that time-lapse video of this being put together. Now, the first thing I want to do is show you guys the safety of this equipment, the basic concept, and then we're going to get this truck down, and I'm going to show you the motion and how to do that. I've already did some work on the truck, and I already got it up here, so I don't want to take it back down and bring it right back up for you again. So I'm basically going to show you guys how to bring it down and the safeties. So the first thing I do want to show you is these bars in the back. You've probably seen them on other lifts before. So these are the safeties. So these guides in here will guide down pins into this ladder right here, and it's actually, that's what it's called, the ladder. And as you can see, there are squares in here, and the safeties will latch inside the squares, and this is all steel, and it hangs on the top through a bolt. All right, so these will latch down, okay, and all 4 of them has to latch. So these bars here should not be touched, modified, or anything like that. I do know how to do my own adjustments, so that's not a problem. But if you don't, try not to touch these at all. Actually, make sure all your set screws are tightened because if they're not, these rods will actually move. It's not for the fish eyes, it's actually for the rods not to get out of adjustment. The same thing is here, okay? Now we're gonna go to the front, and I'm gonna show you the safeties in the front, how you're gonna control it. So right here is the safety release lever, okay? Now these ramps, first off, they do come off, but I'd rather just leave them on because I'm gonna get this truck off here. But what I could also do is I could also put up stops here, as you saw them in the back. They are safeties, and let me show you how they work. So there's the plates, could go right in there. And basically that prevents the vehicle from rolling off, okay? And as you could see way back there, I got another one in the back, okay? But I have these off because, like I said, I'm taking the truck off. But the best thing to do is not to remove these until the vehicle is down on the ground. Okay, so these levers here, when I pull this, it will disengage this lock at the same time the other side and across over there. Okay, you want to be careful not to run this over because you can bend it. So when I actually get the truck off, it actually is really wide, and I actually rub this up a little bit here. Okay, so right now the whole platform here is sitting on the ladder adjustment in here, like I told you, right? So actually there is no tension on these safety cables at all. They're loose. I could wiggle them around. You don't want tension on them because your hydraulic piston, which is actually underneath the runway, this main runway underneath here, which I actually got to cover specifically so my kids won't be able to stick their hands in there and play around for some reason. So you have two controls here. This button here will get the lift up. This one here will bring it down. So for us to get it off the safeties, we are going to have to lift this up. So we're going to go ahead and push this button and get it up until you start seeing this knob go down a little bit. That means it's off of the ladder. Okay, so as you can see, this is off now, and I could disengage the safeties really easy. Now, if this was sitting on the ladder ramps, I wouldn't be able to pull this down. I wouldn't want to try it because all the weight of the vehicle is sitting on those ladders, okay? But now what you have to do is you have to pull this down and hold it down while you lower the ramps, okay? And this is going to be pretty hard with one hand. So I'm going to show you the lowering lever and then pulling down the safeties at the same time, all right? So we're going to push down the safety with my elbow, put the camera in that same arm, and then with the other arm, drop it down. And here we go. And as you can see, it's going down. All right, so there you have it. It is down on the ground, and it's time to drive this off. But before I do drive it off, I do want to show you a few little things here. Inside here, the ladder stops here, right? So let me back out here a little bit. So when the lift comes down, gets right around here, you could actually let go of the safety lever, and you don't have to worry about that at all. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm actually going to mark the frame here exactly where I should let go of the lever because it's a little tricky. So I'm going to do that shortly. And as you could see, everything else is nice and leveled. Now another safety is, let's say you're going down and one of the safeties won't disengage. It'll actually bind just enough for it to stop and tell you, hey, there's something wrong. Lift me back up and see what's going on. The same thing goes with when you're lifting it up. And if the motor starts slowing down and comes to a stop and it's not going up all the way, most likely all four posts are not leveled. And the way that you do level them is by the set screw up there, as you can see. And you really need a buddy to kind of help you out. You can do it by yourself, but you really like to get a buddy. All right, so let me get this car off the lift, and then I can walk around and show you what's going on because this truck is pretty huge and it's taking up most of my camera view. All right. Okay, so now I got my truck off the lift. I'm gonna show you pretty much some of the more safeties, because that's the most important thing are the safeties, right? And then I'm gonna show you how to operate it, have it go up and have it go down, and a couple of little tricks that you can do, and also focus on a few little details to make sure that you maintain it when it needs to be maintained, and you're not doing it too late, and now you gotta swap out used up parts. All right, so here is the car lift itself. Now this tray here in the middle, it's a jack tray. I did not get the hydraulic jack just yet, but I will in the future, which actually will sit in similar like this. But you could just put a normal car jack right here in the center, and you could jack up the car from underneath and do it a different way if you like. These square sheets here, there's actually 4 of them. They're actually all stacked up on each other, and they actually go all the way up and down the ramp itself. Just in case you have a car that's on here that's leaking oil, you're not going to damage the car that's below it. Another safety thing right there. And then that light I just put in there because, believe it or not, and you don't pay attention to this, even though I have so much light here in my shop, which I just put up, I have no light underneath, and it's a little harder to see underneath the car. So I am still trying to figure out what I could do where I could attach lights to the runways to light up the underneath, where it's either they are able to be run over and not damaged and still work, or to have them in a certain section where it won't interfere with anything. So we have these ramps here, which they are removable. And they are a little heavy, but you can't remove them. I like to leave them on, like I said earlier. But you could also put in that safety block right there as well. Back here, I forgot to show you guys. These are just tire tracks right here, but this here actually goes over here. If you tend to lift up your car lift up pretty high, you're gonna wanna leave that there. And the thing for here is for you to put your foot here, and then you could actually climb up higher and then pull that safety arm I was showing you about. Because when it's up high, I can't reach it. Okay, so that's just an extra step there. I don't go up that high, and plus I don't want to get knee in my leg, which I can't feel, and that's going to be a no-no. So, okay, you have your hydraulic lines that are coming out of here. All right, you have your little overflow right here. This is going to be your main hydraulic line. It goes all the way up, goes in this tank. When it's sitting on the floor, your tank is filled, right? Because the piston is now decompressed, so all the fluid is in here. As the piston expands, it's pulling all these cables to lift up the ramp, and it's sucking in all this oil to make that happen. All right, so that's pretty much what you got going on over here. There's nothing crazy. Like I said, make it go up, make it go down. Your fuel nozzle right here, and then your safety lever. That's pretty much what you need to know. So now we're gonna lift this up, and lifting it up, it's pretty easy. You don't need to do anything except for push this button. So we're gonna lift it up about halfway. Dun, 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 dun. And it actually does move fairly fast. Not a dangerous speed, but a speed where you won't sit there and grow old while you're waiting for it to get up. And you're gonna start hearing the locking, the slam right there. That's 1. That's 2. I like to hear those lock slams because that's telling me it's working right. When they don't slam so much, then I have to pay attention to something wrong. So 1 more slam, I'm gonna let it go. Okay, so I'm letting it go, right? So now what I wanna do is I wanna drop it with this level, right? But when I drop it, because it has to sit on these safeties, I have to pay attention to all 4 posts. Because if that safety back there is not engaged, that side you will see it's gonna drop a little bit, okay? And it's either that you stopped it right at the point where the ladder is, and you need to go up a little bit higher for it to catch, or your runway cable over there is not leveled with the rest, and you're gonna need to make an adjustment. And these adjustments are not forever. You're gonna make adjustments throughout its lifetime, but not all the time. You know, every few months you might have to just tweak the bolt a little bit just to level it off. So now we're just gonna drop it and let the safeties pick it up. Boom. And as you can see, there are no drops. So I'm pretty much good. All the safeties are engaged. I like to tug on this cable, make sure it's nice and loose. I just tap on this just a little bit. I don't like to release it too much because I want to make sure that everything stays on its flywheels in these covers here. So if you look inside these covers, you're going to see these little levers. And when the cable tightens, it pushes on this lever that engages the safety, okay? And we're going to take a look underneath here. Let me kind of slide this around. So these are the cables on this side. I actually took that cover off so you guys could see it. So here's the main piston right here that has all the cables attached to this, the end of the piston, and then this is the piston itself. Okay, so what you want to do is you always want to pay attention if there's any leakage, any drippage. Usually will come from here, from the seals. Okay, also same thing goes over here as well. You also want to make sure that everything is nice and clean through here. Nothing is dry. Okay, and then also right there. You want to make sure that everything is good to go, everything is straight, and you're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to raise this up, and you're going to see how this works, and drop it down so you can kind of see how this piston operates underneath here. All right, so there you have it. I pretty much showed you how to work this lift if you got one yourself. If you are a subscriber, you already know what I'm about and what I'm in the middle of and my projects. So again, if you're new to this channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Definitely make sure you subscribe. I do have a Jaguar F-Type, top of the line. I think it's a 2019 or 2018. I forgot what it was because I haven't worked on it in so long, and I'm dying to work on it. I do have another sports car, which is going to be a Porsche. I do have a Porsche Cayman, which I'm actually taking to the track in a few weeks, and I'm going to post some videos of that, so look out for that. But I want to get this on the lift so I can start working on it and go from there. So other than that, make sure you like and subscribe again, all right? And make sure you pass it along, post it on Instagram, whatever you got. Get me more subscribers, because the more subscribers I have and the most views I get, meaning the more money I get. And I'm not going to lie, it's all about money, right? So the more money I get, the more projects I get to do, okay? And the more fun it's going to be, and the more I get to bring to you and to the channel and the excitement. So other than that, peace out.